But then this is also what they were up against. Go down here. That one. That's a Klan rally in Pensacola around the same time Booker T. Washington was coming here. That's a lot of people. I just added that King quote to it. Nothing in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. So as you had more progress and more growth and more land ownership in Pensacola, it was also met with this resistance on how to control these people. And I would go as far to say that it didn't necessarily always come from people who were from Pensacola. Just like you had people coming here from other places, black folk coming here from other places looking for work. You had the same folk coming from those Alabama and Georgia plantations looking for work as well. And with them came their ideas about the English way, we're just gonna call it that, you know, instead of this Spanish way. And it became stronger over time. Okay, we're gonna go to. So some of the ways they dealt with it. We'll say, here. Well, yes, one way was the streetcar protest I was telling you about. It also happened at the same time, around the same time as a trolley strike for the white community. And, hey, go back one. And that's what those photos are. And another way that they dealt with it is that they just left. This is my Aunt Ruth, by the way. She's standing in a neighborhood that's no longer around. It's now the interstate, which was torn down to of course, build the interstate. And that's one way to ensure racial segregation in Pensacola, or just all around, is to push people out and ship them around and tear down their houses and make them move away, or make them move to other areas. And this is what you can see a little bit of what the neighborhood looked like. They left and they went to Chicago, like a lot of people did. Also, whether it be job opportunity or just escaping racial terror, they fled Jim Crow. But then some people, go back. But then some people found a way, you go back. Some people found a way to get around it. You all know these ladies? Rita Jones. Who else? Okay. Well, that's Miss Rita Jones, that's Sybil Redmond, and that's Lily James Frazier, that's Chappie's sister. She's one of the presidents for the Ella Jordan home, actually. Now, one of the ways, this is how racism can be expensive. This is how segregation and Jim Crow is expensive. The rule was, after you graduated from college, and a lot of these people went to Florida A&M or Bethune-Cookman, if the school you wanted to go to did not have your program, your graduate program, separate but equal meant they had to pay for you to go somewhere else to go to school. So instead of letting them come to University of Florida or Florida State, the state of Florida funded these black women to go to schools up north and out west. So Ms. Frazier ended up going to Columbia on a dime of the state. Miss Rita went to Harvard. Sybil Redmond went to the University of Chicago, where she became an attorney who ironically argued Brown versus Board of Education. So they basically paid her to come back and destroy the system that they set up. And all these women are from Pensacola, y'all know. We have these heroes here. There's heroes here. Go back. Let me go to the, So we'll go, that's okay. Just work it out. That's okay. So we're hopping around. So we'll go here. Another thing that they did was make sure they controlled the media, controlled the press. If you look at the Pensacola Journal stories, they were always saying negative things about black folk. Not so much in the Colored Citizen. The Colored Citizen would talk about black achievement. It would tell you who's who in Black America. It told you who became, who graduated from what, who visited where. It kept up with the news in the heart and the pulse, really, of Blacks in Pensacola. Whereas the Pensacola Journal would say things like, I pulled up an article the other day, it was just like, a Negro woman was arrested for talking back. You know, they're just dangerous with back talk. But here, it laid it out a little different. It set it up a little more positive.
I mean, Sophia.
Yeah, right. So, we'll go back one. Okay, I'm looking at the last one. I'll do just one. Here, we'll close with these right here. Here with this one. Right here. This is Mr. Clarence Martin. This is the same man. He was arrested in 1921, and he was in and out in Escambia County, and he was in and out of jail up until his death in 1982. This is an example of the convict lease system. In the early days, this early picture, he would have been taken to jail under the convict lease system, and because of getting arrested one time and the laws that were set in place at the time, it really shows how the effects of that can follow a person throughout their life. So you see him aging. He doesn't even look like the same person in the beginning, but you see over time. And each time it was like breaking and entering. Sometimes just breaking. The last few times he said he didn't even do it, but he had a record. So they put him back in jail, sometimes 20 years for one charge, sometimes 3 years for one charge. Go to the 707 days. That's my husband right there. So we'll close with this one. People don't know that we had the longest boycott in civil rights history. I think that's something that it could either mean two things. It could either mean that there was just that much perseverance, or it could mean that there was just that much resistance. I don't know yet. I don't know how you want to look at it. But we know that they ultimately won, and there's a marker downtown now commemorating that. And I think ultimately the legacy of Jim Crow stands when people like him can look back at what he did. A lot of these people were teenagers when they participated in this boycott, getting burned by cigarettes and getting arrested. And some of the ladies in the background were also a part of it. And just to be able to look back and reflect on how far we've come and how much we've accomplished, even in the face of all these slides that I shared with you today, I think it shows that as long as we're looking forward and looking to the future, that we're hopeful and we can look back on the past and know how far we have to go at the same time.